Hello all, and welcome to the second review of the night, in which I am reviewing Miller Lite. Yes, Miller Lite. As the saying in Hawaii goes, Miller Lite tastes alright. In other words, Miller Lite tastes good, or Miller Lite tastes. So Hawaii actually is very interesting in regards to its macro beer drinking population. If I'm to be absolutely honest, the only people who drink craft beer are haoles and gigantic coconuts like myself. You might not realize it, I am part ethnic Hawaiian, part Filipino, and part Portuguese. But I kind of come across as a gigantic Caucasian in the way I talk and in a lot of my hobbies, unfortunately. Which includes beer. So, craft beer is kind of a white people thing. That said, there are some beers that locals like. So, if you're older than 65 years old and you're local, you drink Coors Light. If you are in between the ages of about 45 and 65, you drink Miller Lite, particularly if you are a blue-collar worker. If you are under the age of 45, depending if you're blue-collar, you drink Heineken or Heineken Light. If you're white-collar, but still local white-collar, you generally go for Budweiser, Bud Light Platinum, or avoid beer altogether and stick mostly to frou-frou mixed drinks. Of course, there's also island variations. On the Big Island, I live on Oahu, by the way. On the Big Island, generally, instead of Heineken, that particular demographic will drink Steinlager. I have no idea how these sorts of things develop. It'd actually be really interesting to kind of look into. Nostalgic locals will drink Primo, which has been revived in recent years, but hasn't really caught on too big. You'll see a lot of people drinking it, but it doesn't have as many dedicated drinkers as the other beers that I mentioned. So, Miller Lite. What can I say about Miller Lite in general? Well, of the big three macro lager light beers, it's probably the best one. That's not saying much. Miller Lite's big thing is, it's light beer with taste. But it's still a light beer. Let's read the label, shall we? Inside is a fine Pilsner beer brewed with the highest quality ingredients. We use choice hops from the Pacific Northwest as well as Noble Saz hops and deliver more taste, aroma, and color with only 96 calories per 12 ounce. See here. And why do I have this? Well, my landlord came to my mom's party and he left some beer. This is his particular beer. He really likes Miller Lite. And Bud Light. He kind of switches in between the two. He's not local, so but he is blue collar. Actually, he didn't start off blue collar. He was actually very well educated, but kind of went into blue collar because he hated doing white collar work, and he's just happier building houses. I really wish I could build houses, to tell the truth. So I kind of envy him in that respect. So why am I drinking this? Well, I know this was about to go out. Well, actually, it was dated for September, which was last month. But these things are made so that they can last. But I've already spent 4 minutes yammering on. Let's go and drink this wonderful Miller Lite at 4.17 ABV. Well, PP yellow. I'd say a little bit lighter, darker yellow than most light beers, with a fizzy white head. Oddly enough, it actually smells like malts, biscuity malts, and just a hint of floral hops. Why do I say that oddly enough? Because most of these macro lagers kind of smell of corn, which is their major adjunct. nicely carbonated, but most American adjunct lagers kind of go for that nicely carbonated look. And it's actually retaining its head, which is kind of surprising. Watery, but kind of expecting that from a light beer. It's gone a hint stale, but it's still very drinkable. It doesn't taste like beer, old beer yet, just a hint of it. Unfortunately, it does taste corny in the palate. And just a hint of bitterness in the finish. Finish is clean. Other than the aged note, no real off notes to this. But not really much taste either. Again, a bit more taste than other, adjunct macro light lagers. But that's not saying much. Probably tastes good to drink after a really hot day of working, because it's pretty much damn near water. I'm actually kind of impressed at there's head retention. That's always a problem with adjunct lagers, and especially light adjunct lagers, so I give them credit for that. But honestly, you got to go and give most macro brewers credit for light beer, as when brewers get together and talk about brewing, they're often amazed that they're able to have such little flavor, which is a very difficult technical task, and have what little flavor there is be absolutely uniform. That's why you see so many heavy, highly hopped, craft beers, is because it's a lot easier to go and mask brewing flaws when you dump in a ton of hops and you use an amazing amount of malts for a high alcohol percentage. Damn, this is kind of bloaty. I'm already feeling kind of belchy. So what more can I say about this? Yeah, well, it's Miller Lite. It is what it is. I probably will drink this again in the future, because I often end up at parties or gatherings where this is the beer that is on hand. Any port in the storm, I say. So, that's your second beer review for tonight. Miller Lite. I hope this review was alright. Cheers. And chehoo.